A beautiful day at Kyle Field, 52-10 win for Texas A&M over McNeese State. And here for the first All-In Aggies recap of the season. Listen, wasn't feeling phenomenal last week after Notre Dame, both after watching the game and just physically. It was late, had a lot going on. So apologies that we didn't get a more comprehensive recap timely as we will this one. But beautiful day, a quick game. Both in terms of the runtime and the actual drama on the field. 52-10, still some things you'd like to see cleaned up a little bit. But before we get any further, here's an extended look at the Aggies' win over the Cowboys. All right, so getting ready for this one, Nick Scorton getting loose on the sideline before the game. Mike Elko recruiting a little bit before the game. Kobe Sellers, Shadow Creek defensive back, committed to A&M on there, along with Colton Cameller. Those are a couple I spotted. Colton Cameller, A&M consolidated kicker, committed to A&M. How about a running back, Le'Veon Moss, 31-yard gain to start it off on the opening drive for the Aggies. And then through the air, Connor Wigman, little out route to Moose Muhammad. He was loose today a little bit, 20-yard gain. Aggies in position, finish off the drive, back to number 8, Le'Veon Moss, straight up the middle. Kind of an even distribution for the Aggies, but 333 total yards on the ground. Just having their way with it. Adela Cernusic, the NCAA women's golf individual champion in the house, liking what she's seeing. And a nice gain here to Amari Daniels on the second offensive drive, 19-yard gain. And then to finish off this one, Daniels punches it in, reaches over the goal line. They don't call it a touchdown at first, but eventually they get the call right. 14-0 A&M. Miss Rev, I got to have that set up on the end zone for me at Kyle Field as well. Last drive of the first quarter, Connor Wigman didn't have many designed quarterback runs, but he did show some mobility here, a 15-yard scamper. And then we flip it as we go to the second quarter, other end zone. Moss up the middle into the end zone for the second time of the morning of the afternoon. A&M up 21-0. And then here comes the defense. Camden, six-killer, picked off by Will Lee. You know, he almost had the interception against Notre Dame, but he comes through with the pick here, and he's going to let you know about it. Will Lee, pretty pumped up after his first interception as a Texas A&M Aggie. Wild sequence here. So we got a loose head on the field. The side judge goes to get it, and then mere moments later, Texas A&M's going to have its first passing touchdown of the season. Wigman to Noah Thomas. And while the Aggies are celebrating, the side judge, listen, if you know, you know. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear zebra shirts. Texas A&M extends the lead 28-0. And then here, this was about as close as the Aggies got to a sack. Rylan Kennedy kind of bumps them forward. Technically, it's a 1-yard gain, but basically the pressure getting home there, that forces a punt. Then Connor Wigman, again, showing that mobility. Woo! Little spinorama there. Nice gain on the scamper. 18-yard scramble. And then to cap off that drive, going back to Moose Muhammad. 3-yard touchdown as he goes across the goal line. Touchdown makes it 35-0, and still not done in the first half. Probably the second closest the Aggies came to a sack. Solomon DeShields applying the pressure, and that basically forces the errant throw. Marcus Ratcliffe with the interception, another transfer making a big play. That is going to set up Randy Bond for a 42-yard field goal attempt. It is good as gold. 38-0 Texas A&M as we go into halftime. Let's go third quarter now. Marcel Reed in at quarterback. He got into the game late in the first half. Over the middle to Cyrus Allen, making some moves off the slant. A lot of yards after the catch. Cyrus Allen, 31-yard pickup on that play. He finished north of 70 on the day, the Louisiana Tech transfer. Handoff to Amari Daniels to cap off the drive. 7-yard touchdown up the middle. 45-0. Could it get any better for the Aggies? Well, I'm glad you asked. Fourth quarter. Handoff to Terry Bussey, the 5-star out of Timpson. 65-yard touchdown down the sidelines. Mr. Bussey finding the end zone. Texas A&M gets the win 52-10. Head coach Mike Elko, his first victory in that role, leading the Texas A&M Aggies. A&M improves to 1-1 on the season. Big game coming up, SEC opener in the Swamp at Gainesville next weekend.
I'm proud of the way we handled it. I think when you get into these games, it's really important that you play to your standard and to your level, and I think we did that in the first half. I think we were really efficient on the first half on offense. I thought we did a really nice job getting into rhythm and getting going, and then defensively we made the stops that we needed to make, and so that we were able to get into halftime and put ourselves into position where we could play a lot of guys in the second half. And so in the second half, we got a lot of guys reps and opportunities, and it wasn't pretty at times. It wasn't to the level we needed it to be at times, but the only way those guys are going to learn is going to be to get on the field and get into game action, and so we were able to do that, and we'll go back and study the tape for them and figure out how to clean stuff up. And Connor was efficient. I think he was, 11 of 14. He went out there, he did what we asked him to do. I thought he saw things well, maybe missed one that I think he would like to have had back, but I think for the most part he did what he wanted to do.
So there you have it. Aggies get the win, 52-10. Heard from Coach Elko there a little bit. Again, this was not a perfect win for Texas A&M, but they did check a lot of boxes you'd like to see. Still some work to do. And what I want to do with these, especially this first week, I want to go back and take a look at some of the things we said coming into the game we'd like to see and kind of review how the Aggies did. So if we're going to go back to Friday's episode, if you missed it, the pecking order, the top 5 things I wanted to see from Texas A&M in this game. Number 5, Connor Wigman using his feet. Numbers we got here, pretty good. Nothing too crazy as I try to find it here. Connor Wigman, 4 rushes for 40 yards and a 1-yard loss on one play. So really 3 rushes for 40 yards in terms of actual scrambles or run plays. Nothing too crazy. He did have the nice run where he did a little spinorama, so that was good to see. Still trending in a positive direction. I'm not asking him to be, a 1,000-yard rusher. Just would like to see him be a factor with his legs. I thought we saw that. Number 4, O-line bully ball. We definitely saw that. Not too much pressure on the quarterback. Marcel Reed, Connor Wigman able to move around and then rushing. How about 234 yards on the ground? That'll do it. That's the domination you wanted to see. Number 3, wide receivers getting open. Better, but I think still work to do. Nothing really down the field, which we'll get to that. But, we saw some slants. We saw some yards after catch. This was McNeese State. Maybe would like to see a little bit more against that quality of opponent, given what you have coming up. But all in all, certainly an improvement from last week against Notre Dame. Number 2, defense getting home. We did not see that. By my count, no sacks. Good defensive line push throughout the game. They only allowed 45 yards passing, it should be noted. So they had their moments, but actually getting home, getting sacks, pressures are still getting there a little bit, but work to do there. Again, sacks is not the end-all, be-all. That can be a little fluky. We saw that last year. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Still work to do there, and definitely work to do on number 1 item of the pecking order. Downfield passing, still not seeing much that's 20 yards or further down the field, at least like through the air. Again, a little bit of yards after catch, slants, comebacks, this and that, but that is something I'd like to see. Now, I will just note on that, you are playing McNeese State, you're running the ball comfortably. I think you still want to get some live reps on those routes so that you're not going through it for the first time or trying to fine-tune it on the fly in Gainesville next week. But I understand you do have to just get through this week, get the win. Maybe you don't want to just display everything out there. If you can keep some stuff in your back pocket, you do that. Maybe there's a little bit of that going on, but would have liked to see maybe just 1 or 2 deep balls. So that is your brief recap here from Kyle Field. Texas A&M 1-1, the first win for Mike Elko, 52-10 over McNeese State. For All In Aggies, I'm Ben Peck.